You know when you're chatting with an AI, it feels pretty straightforward, right? You ask a question, it gives you an answer. But what if I told you there's actually a third party in that conversation? A powerful, invisible force that's shaping every single thing it says. It's like a hidden handbook the AI has to follow. So today, let's pull back the curtain and take a peek at that secret manual.
All right, let's start with what we all know. Section 1, a simple request.
Most of us, we look at an AI chat window and we see a blank slate. Just an empty box waiting for us to type something in, waiting for our command.
So we give it a task, and it does it. Simple, like, hey, write me a poem about robots. It feels like this really direct, clean, cause and effect thing. But that's not the whole picture, not even close. And this is where things get really interesting. Because what if that prompt of yours isn't the first thing the AI is listening to? What if it's already operating under a whole set of rules, a kind of prime directive that it has to obey above everything else?
Okay, welcome to Section 2, the hidden handbook. This is where we're going to dig into that secret instruction manual that's running the whole show behind the scenes.
The name for this thing is the system prompt, and here's the best way to think about it. If your prompt, your request, is like a daily task you give an employee, then the system prompt is their company policy handbook. It's the rulebook they got on day one that defines who they are, what they can and can't do, their entire job description.
Just look at this comparison. Your prompt, the daily task, it has some power for sure. But the system prompt, the company policy, it has the final say. It can totally override or reshape the AI's answer to your question just to make sure it stays within those preset guardrails.
And this whole structure is pretty new. Before 2023, developers were basically just cramming all of these background instructions right into the main prompt field. It was kind of messy. But then OpenAI came along and formalized it all with their GPT 3.5 Turbo API. Suddenly, you had three clear roles: the system, which sets the rules; the user, that's you, making the request; and the assistant, the AI giving the answer. That simple change, it was a total game changer for making AIs more stable and predictable.
So why does this matter so much? Well, it creates something called the instruction hierarchy. Let's break that down in Section 3.
Okay, so its main job is really to be a safety net. The system prompt basically locks in the AI's personality and rules. It makes sure the AI stays helpful, stays on brand, even if a user is trying to get it to go off the rails. It really is the ultimate guardrail. And here's the absolute key. The AI is literally trained to obey the system prompt more than it obeys you. The developer's rules are more important than the user's request. That's the hierarchy. And it's what stops a helpful assistant from accidentally turning into, well, something chaotic or even dangerous. This pirate doctor test is a perfect example. Check this out. Without a system prompt, if you tell an AI, hey, you're a pirate, give me medical advice, you might get some funny pirate slang, but also some really dangerous wrong information. Total chaos. But with a system prompt that says your #1 job is to be a safe and helpful medical expert, the AI puts safety first. It might still throw in a few ahoy mateys for fun, but the actual advice, it's going to be professional and responsible. That's the hierarchy at work. All right, so let's see how this actually plays out with the AIs we use every day. In Section 4, we're going to look at what I'm calling rival AI constitutions, because you'll see that different companies have wildly different ideas about what should be in that hidden handbook. So let's put two of the big ones head to head: Google's Gemini and Anthropic's Claude. Gemini is built to be your proactive sidekick, diving into your personal data to be more helpful. Claude, on the other hand, is built on this fascinating idea called constitutional AI. That means its system prompt is, well, it's a literal constitution. We're talking sometimes over 5,000 words of rules that it has to follow. It's incredibly detailed. So if we could read Gemini's hidden handbook, it would basically say something like, your goal is to be the most helpful assistant ever. Use the person's saved data, their location, their PC build, whatever you've got, to give them the most personalized, useful answer you can. Now, Claude's constitution, totally different vibe. It's more like, your main purpose is to be a wise and harmless mentor. You need to follow this very strict ethical code, don't ever take sides, and always prioritize safety and careful thinking. So you end up with two completely different AI personalities, all because of what's written in those secret system prompts. Okay, so after all that, what's the big takeaway here? Let's wrap up with Section 5, the silent engine, because it really is about understanding what's driving the whole conversation. Next time you find yourself chatting with an AI, I want you to remember this. Your request, What you type in, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath the water, there's this massive, hidden foundation of rules, personality instructions, and safety protocols, and that's what's really in charge. That system prompt? It's the silent engine. It's the hidden architecture that keeps your AI thought partner on track. Without it, you just have a chaotic mess. But with it, you get a tool that's consistent, reliable, and most importantly, safe.
And that leaves us with a really big question for the future, right? As these AIs get more and more powerful and woven into everything we do, the philosophies that companies write into these hidden constitutions, well, they're going to start shaping our world. The values we decide to program into them today are absolutely going to define what our tomorrow looks like. So you have to ask, what should those values be?